I like very much this part of it's not me, it's we. And that is, I think, from both of you, a ego removal, which takes me actually to make this question to you, going back a little bit into how you started realizing what later became the mom test. It is, how did you stop your ego from blocking your growth? And I can exemplify that because when I say that I have failed so many times, you said first thing of the first rule of the mom test is do not pitch your idea, and you're right there in front of the customer, and it's so difficult. It's so difficult. What's the mental process that you got there? Do you recall?
There's no magic switch. It's a hands-on skill. It's like pottery or skateboarding. It's a thing that you learn through a bit of trial and error, because it's a weird way to talk to a customer and it's a weird way to set up the conversation where you're saying, hey, I'm working on an idea, like for whatever, to help stay-at-home parents with homeschooling during the lockdown, for example. And it's so easy to then be like, I have a brilliant idea. It's all about me. Let me talk about my idea. Don't you think my idea is awesome? And it's just, it's hard to get out of that, but it's a skill, it's a practice. And then making that safe space where it's like, hey, this is what I'm trying to do. This is why I want to talk to you. Like, because you have to give people a reason for wanting to talk to them. If you just say, hey, can I just talk to you for 5 minutes about something? They get really suspicious and nervous. That doesn't work at all. So you have to give people a reason, which is like kind of a skill to open that safe space. It's not an impossible skill. You do it with your friends already when you have a sensitive conversation, but it feels weird in a business context. You practice that, you mess it up a few times, you get a little better. And then it's a skill also to be able to nudge the conversation in a useful direction without just talking about your idea. It's like, and at a certain point, they know what's happening. They know you have an idea, of course. And they go, hey, so tell me about it. It's like, there's a little skill to just be like, nothing would make me happier, but like, hold on, you were saying something I'm super interested in. Would you tell me more about how you do blank? And you deflect away the request to get the pitch and you bring it back to them. And when you combine these little skills, and none of them's impossible, it's stuff, honestly, you already do it in every conversation with your friends. But so you try a few times, it clicks and you go, oh, I get it. And then it's like, suddenly you start unlocking all this value from these conversations that wasn't there before. And it's like, wow. And then there's no way you're going to go back. You're like, yeah, why would I use a conversation to pitch and get binary feedback? Yes, no, when I could use that same time to learn. And I'm going to get this detailed, nuanced feedback that's going to let me make my whole business, my whole product better in countless ways. It's just such leveraged learning and progress. And as a programmer, to me, it then feels like a programming superpower, because when I first started, I would get mad. I'd get mad at my investors. I'd say, why are you making me waste my time talking to customers? I could be programming. Programming's what matters. And now it's like, hey, you want me to program the right thing, right? So let me go talk to my customers. Like, what sort of maniac would pay programmers an insane salary and then ask them to program blind? Like, you got to be in touch, right? Like, you got to be anchored to learning. And I've seen this apply in traditional careers also. Like, hey, like, what makes someone in this role succeed? Like, why did the person in this role last time not succeed? Like, what goes wrong? If you were in my shoes with what you know now, what would you be worried about? What would you be focusing on? You can use this in negotiations and partnerships. You can use it in hiring. You want that first employee. Why are they even talking to you in the first place? You're a small company with no reputation. Ask them, hey, I know this is a weird question. Why are you even talking to me? Why aren't you just applying to Facebook and Google? And they're going to say, well, because of this reason. Great, anchor onto that. You no longer need to compete in terms of the highest salary because you found what really motivates them. Give that to them. Work extra hard to make sure they get that thing that they want most. Whether that's career development, skill development, building a platform, like, who knows, right? I've hired incredible people where it's like, I'm like, why are you talking to me? What do you want? And they're like, I am embarrassed to say this, but I think I'm going to be able to get a better job in 2 years because you're going to expose me to the network I need. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to get you that job in 12 months. Let's go. And it's like, give me 12 good months and like, you're going to get the job you want.